Hello everyone, this is Marcus here, and I am about to start a draft here. I think we jump right into it, and now let's see. A lot of you know that one of the best strategies is to draft a Gatecrash guild, also Boros aggressive two-color decks. And then you need to pick gates quite highly to get a stable mono base for your 2-drops. I'm a bit more open for a 3-color deck, and I'm just gonna mark this here. Just want to try this one out. So my favorite draft strategy is actually Grixis, and playing a 3-color deck, you can, if you play the mid-range 3-color deck, you can rely on clue stones instead for your mana fixing, so you don't have to worry about your curve and your mana all that much. So basically I want to pick value cards, stay alive, and practically draw more cards on my opponent. So passing Blessed Genius here is kinda bad, but I want to try this rare out. I don't think he's like first pickable, but it's quite solid, and I've never played with him. So about Grixis, yeah, you can also be like blue, white, red, and the Sphinx fits into that strategy quite well. Breaking Entering is quite alright. It's not super good, but you want fancy big effects when you play this deck with all the clue stones, and stuff like breaking is awesome with Dimir Guildmage, for example. But I don't think I'll pick it this high. The Maka is nice if you're kind of aggressive Grixis, or is it? But it's more of a gruel card when you attack with creatures. I'm not so much for attacking with creatures, so I'll go with the safe pick in Gellan Sphinx here. Blaze Commando is also alright, but it's aggressive, and like I said, I don't want to be aggressive. I want to have the mid-rangey, slow grindy deck, and that way you don't have to worry about drawing the aggressive cards in the right order, put pressure on your opponent and stuff. You can just sit back, relax, draw some cards, bounce and kill whatever's needed. Another card for that strategy is Gaze of Granite. It's not super good because you have to ramp into it to make it effective. So basically you're killing your own Blue Stones or Axebane Guardians or what have you. But it's alright. There are not that many sweepers in the format, so most people won't play around it. And they shouldn't actually, but you kind of, if you play against a good opponent and he has some decent pressure on you, you're kind of forced to use it. And on like 2 mediocre creatures. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Pilfer Plants. I could go with the Gilgate. Oh, sorry. I talk too much. Yeah, the Gilgate is quite alright. You need a few card drawing spells, but you can get them later. So what do we have here? Mogburst. This is actually a decent card. We don't have any great creatures right now for it. This one maybe. But it's another 6-drop. I like Fatal Fumes. The Gilgate is also tempting, but I'm trying to cut Izzet here. It's not, blue is kind of underdrafted, and I think it's better than most people give it credit for. We passed the Blast of Genius, so maybe it's not open at all. Fumes or Gate? Cluestone. Izzet Cluestone could be picked as well, and the split card there is quite alright as well in other decks. So let's see. do we have here? More the Obsolete. It's a nice Esper card, but mostly fits into the strict ores of aggressive builds with a lot of Syndic of Tides and the Tithe Drinker, aggressive stuff like that. You can pick up a few 2-drops, quite a few 2-drops in the last pack as well for the aggressive deck. Deputy is really nice, but let's semi-force that cool Izzet deck here. Let's see what we end up with. So, so let's see, Carnage Gladiator. So red, blue, black. It's alright. Mind Static is not that good. I love counter spells, but this one is a mana too expensive for draft. It's alright in sealed, I think, but here it's not that good. So we are already red, so I think we'll stick with the Gladiator. We can note that both Gorgon and the Golgargil Gate and also the green Gatekeeper is in the same pack. So green should be quite open. More green cards. Nothing for us here really. The reason I like this 3-color strategy, at least I talked about, I'm not sure what I'm ending up with here, is that you can you basically avoid 1 color and then you keep 2 colors as your base and then you see where the splash ends up. So for example here we're blue-red and we might dip into white or we might dip into black, but we totally avoid the green, which we maybe shouldn't because there are a lot of cards in those colors. I'm just gonna pick up a 2-drop here if we need to block early in our black deck. So lots of ifs here. So in the red decks I actually like threaten effects quite a bit. This one is not that good. We want for Nivik Cyclops, we want Act of Treasons and stuff like that for big flashy attacks. But I think a 2/4 could be something we would want in this deck. Oh, Mav Obsolete Wield. That tells us something. So this is an 8/4 and I think people know what they're doing. Maybe I'm not doing anything right here, but I think this should tell us that Orzhov is open. Do we have the Clueston here? And I think we have to go with the more Obsolete here. So this one came back. There's no white in it, but I'm not sure. I do want another 2-drop. I have no idea what I'm doing now. Alright, we are still forcing that cool Izzet deck. And we need another clue. The first Cluestone really, so we definitely need something like that. Ruination is alright. It's a 6-drop. I think we want a Cluestone. There's another Cluestone and the Morgue Burst. This is a nice combo. We want flashy spells that do cool, awesome stuff. Yeah, we get another Cluestone later maybe. Or another key room. Some junk, Mind Static. So let's see, what do we have? Some kind of mess, but no green. So hopefully the people after us picked up the Golgari signal. Gideon. I do love me some planeswalkers. Double white at 4 mana. It's not easily splashable, but I think we have to take it. It's not worth anything, unfortunately. Other good stuff. Dimir Gilgate. If we dip into white, we need this guy as well. Agrophobia is a nice card as well. But yeah, that late more indicates something for us. So I don't really know what we have passed in the Ursa deck for the Ursa deck. We took the Sphinx quite highly, so it could be like Esper, maybe that's open. We have no Esper cards whatsoever right now, but could work. Could work. So yeah, let's go for the Griffin here. We are pretty low on playables for whatever we end up with, so I don't think we can take the gates as highly as we perhaps should have been at this point. We need playables. Alright, so we have the Spy. It's an alright card. It's really nice with what's the name of it? 1 black, destroy target creature, almost equal to number of creatures in the controller's graveyard. It's also semi-nice with like more burst if we target ourselves. Angelic Edict. Yeah, it's decent, but it's not that good. Most creatures we have to kill cost 2-3 mana, so it's not that good. So I'm gonna go with this one. I really like the pulpit. It's like the Edict, but you can use it straight away and get value out of it later when you tap good stuff. So now that we got the Gideon, he could be aggressive and kill our opponent pretty fast, but it's a defensive card for me, so I think I'll go with Smite here. Other pickups could have been the blue-black Guildmage. Let's see. We're not really blue at all. We have 2 cards and a Cyclops that are blue. Oh, 2-drop, excellent. Other cards here. Viper is really good. Like him a lot. Shielded Passage, I would pretty much want at least one in all my white decks. It's practically a counterspell for 1 white. Since most relevant spells in a match is the removal spells. Okay, so here we have the Enforcer, but not a big fan. We have the Varflash, which is alright. I think it's better than Edict. Corpse Blockade, also alright. I like at least 1 sacrifice effect because of all the stab wounds and 1000 lashes, stuff like that. So we already have more, so I think I'll go with the Varflash. Court Street Denizen. It's more of a Boros card. we don't have much white creatures, and I don't really want this tempo E card anyways. So if we're still on that Esper plan, I think this one is alright. The Cyclops we passed there, also a decent card, but I don't think we end up in red at this point. At least I think the Azorius cards are pretty important, and we get those in the last pack. So even though we don't have any blue now, I think we could end up Esper. Here we have that spy and the death approach. That's the one I talked about. Oh, I'll go with the spy. We don't have enough removal to make that death approach reliable. So now we can start hiding some stuff. Yeah, breaking and the guild mage is actually decent endgame in the control mirror. If this is some kind of control deck, I don't know. Executioner swing. It's not that good, but I don't want to play Gutter Skulk. I don't want to play the black card either, but we can use him if we have to. It's good to have a few 2-drops in sideboard for the aggressive decks. Here we have a maneuver. If we want to splash red, maybe we won't, because we have the Cluestone and Gilgate. It's a pretty free splash, so maybe we want to Keywind. Yeah, let's go for Keywind. What deck is this? At least there's no green. If that's a good thing, I don't know, but we have some kind of focus here. Yeah, we already have one horror. This is a annoying card to play against. Sometimes they put it on a Rubbleback Rhino and pass the turn 10 times, and then we're dead. For the 13-14 hexproof thingy. So 18 cards and 2 lands going into pack 3. So we have another Planeswalker. Could be worse, actually. Yeah. I know how this draft will end. Pick the rare in pack 1, pick the Planeswalker pack 2, which is double white, to our blue-red one, and then I go some kind of Esper into the double blue Jace. No focus at all. But I can't pass this guy. So if we drop the red, what do we have? We are black, yeah. Black, white, and blue. Now let's find the holes and put cards in those slots. Arrest is a perfect card. So basically, I think we want to stall and let the Planeswalkers take over. So we need to draft defensive creatures and removal a bit higher than we usually want. So Dead Reveler is normally a good card in this color combination, but if we're not gonna unleash him, I think he loses a bit of value. Ice in the Skies, it's nice with the swing and the maw. It's also good to jump to protect the planeswalkers. It's another 4-drop, which is a bit unfortunate. But I think it's the pick here. Ethereal Armor is... I really like this card, but this deck is not that aggressive. We don't want to build our Baneslayer Angel and go to town as soon as possible. So if we are blue-white base, splashing for black, we have 3 cards that are black. So for blue-white, then could fit the build. A 3/4 flash is perfect. It's a perfect size because of all the Kentar tokens running around. Yeah, let's go with this. Another Reveler. Rogue's Passage is also quite alright in the Dead Reveler deck, but I think we go with the large party here. The Augur Spree. Yeah, maybe Augur Spree. If we dip into red, we have the Guild Gates and we have the Bluestone here. Yeah, we don't have any like Gatekeeper Vines and stuff like that. We have the Ice in Skies, but we need all our creatures to protect the planeswalkers, so I think we go with Augur Spree. So, because of that pick, I think we have to take the Guildgate here. Red is not our base color, so the Electromancer won't fit into the deck. Same with Teleportal. There is a deck with semi-closed in pack 1, maybe is somewhere around, but Teleportal is very good in that deck with the Nivik Cyclops and the 1/5 flying thingy. But I think I go with the Guildgate here. Ooh, King Apparition. Really like that card. Also, we have to note that the Warflash and Arrest is in the same deck, so we have to keep that in mind. The spell is alright. I always main deck this in the RRR format because of all of the removal, all of the populate spells more or less are instants. But now I think it's not as good as it used to be. So basically we need a 2-drop and this is the best one. We are also more white than we are black, I think, at this point. Oh, Hover Barrier. Perfect. That is a good card in this deck. There was also Inspiration, and I love me some Inspiration, but now I think it's not the time to pick up more value. We really want this deck to come together in a decent way, at least. I think we're more or less forced to take the Apparition. Avenging Arrow is alright, and it's good with the Hover Barrier and more or less any attack step, since it will kill the creature end of turn. We already have the Executioner Swing, and taking damage and then killing creatures is not where you want to be if you don't have to. At least one of those kind of spells are enough, I think. So, do we have anything to populate? Not really. I take the spell. I could hate pick the white card maybe. So here's the Minotaurus He's not that good, but he won me a couple of games last weekend. So what do we have here? Let's take the Electromancer. I think we would have a quite alright Izzet deck if we stayed a bit more focused. Dipping into white for Gideon was maybe a trap, but I don't know. I felt that my draft went downhill when I first picked Izzet Rare. So you should, like, when you start forcing, you maybe we play this one. Here's another one. When you start forcing and then you stop forcing and then you try to be open during the draft, like, then you force yourself even more, so to speak. You already put yourself in a corner, and then you have to move yourself away out of it. When we're forcing a strategy, it's not a good strategy, but when it comes together, you get a great deck. So when you do force, you should stick to your guns to the bitter end, I think. So let's see what we have. We are blue-white because we have the two walkers here. So we dip into. Let's do this in the right order. This will dictate, the mana will dictate where we are. Like 5/6 drop. We can put it on 5. Filler, removal, creature. Yeah, maybe. Put the maybes here. Another planeswalker. Was a little bit fast on that one. So 14 cards. Yeah. Yeah. We have the one spy for entering, and we have a bit. Let's see. Dwarf. No, we don't have that much removal. We have the Augur Spree here. Maybe more burst. So we can't reliably put a creature into play with entering turn 6. And milling 8. Yeah, it's not that good. So if we want to fuse this spell as some kind of win con, we need at least 2-3 clue stones or similar to get the mana in time. So I think we have to play those 3. Maybe dip into red a little bit for Augur Spree. So we put this one back. 18. Mana from hell. I think we're forced to play this guy. I'm always unhappy with him. He's too slow for extort, and he always trades down in mana when he blocks. So maybe. So do we want to dip into this deck? We have like 4 or 5. Those the pulpit and arrest are non-creature spells that we can't use with the Paragon, and a 2/4 for 6 is way too low. If we have like 10 cards, I've seen it in action, and your opponent draws an Augur Spree like all the time, is quite good. As it is, he is not that good. The Gladiator is too aggressive for us. The Morgue Burst does not have any targets, because we have no creatures, Cyclops, no spells. Same with the Electromancer. So looking at the setup of spells we have here, we are not into Izzet at all. We have the beneficial spells, but we don't have the enablers. We do have the red splash for free here, the 2 gates. So we are gonna play the Ogre Spree. Not sure if we want this as well. Let's see. So which one is better here? I actually like this more. If you have the splash color in your clue stone, you always want one source from your splash, and then when you draw the other source, like one of the gates, maybe you have mountain, I don't think so, but when you draw that, you can cycle it. So when you can't cycle it, you want it, and when you can cycle it, you have the option. So I prefer this as my from the color of my splash from my splash instead of the common way when you have the main colors on your clue stones, because you need a certain amount of mana in your deck, and you rather have your main colors in basic lands, so you can play your 2-drops instead of having like mountain and also clue stone. Then you can't play the apparition if you have like mountain swamp as your first lands. Anyways, the deck is kind of slow, and we need a bit of mana sources, so we are forced to play the clue stones, and we kind of want another blue-white guild gate to make this a reliable deck. Maybe this spell is alright. We have no creatures. The ones we have we want to keep, and this one counters most removal spells. And also all the flashy split spells. Most of them. Yeah, a few of them are sorceries like this, but like Far Away, Turn Burn, those kind of nasty stuff. So this, it looks like an 18 land deck, because Pulpit requires 1. We do have 2 clue stones as it is, so maybe 17 is alright. But because we run quite a few fillers, I rather have like solid mana instead of playing a bad card, so maybe it's still 18, I don't know. Not sure about this. Yeah, maybe it's in the line of our deck. Those fogs quite a bit, and we have a few blockers, so maybe this is the win condition we need. So 17 lands, maybe. Dispel in our sideboard. What else? Cut this way, maybe? 10 creatures, that's enough. Yeah, I think we are forced to play this one. We have the guild mage and this, so it's a plan at least, and also we don't have any creatures that can attack. This is the only guy in the assault griffin, maybe. So we could steal a few games here and there with the flying army and the hover barrier blocker. But I don't think we need a ground pounder with extort. It doesn't do anything for us. We need more defensive cards. Maybe this one. I'm not sure. I think we can sideboard him in. So we have 2 cards that cost red, and we have the clue stone, so the red is free. We don't have to worry about that. Let's see here. So we are blue, white, black, more white. Yeah, we have 2 white 2-drops. I would prefer like 7, 8 sources at least for white. Let's see what we end up with. Here 7. So in the gate, so we're fine with the white, and the blue we have 1, like 7 sources as well. So on the black we would like 6. We have the Ores of Gate and Rakdos. 4. So this is what we would want, but unfortunately we can't fit it, so we need to cut some stuff. We have white here on both, so we can cut one white. Time is running low a bit. Should have focused on this a bit earlier. So we need blue. We can cut. Oh, this one is horrible. Yeah, it's definitely 18 lands in this deck. Hmm. 6 items. Yeah. Okay. Horrible mono base.